A lot has been going on, and I'll just give you the highlights. Basically, the Democratic National Committee got really, 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 really hammered by the newfound emails and laptop and so forth by the FBI yesterday. Today's June 4th, 2017. Yeah, so they incriminate. It was told they incriminate a very large portion of the Democratic and I'm sure Republican side as well. Um, you know, high officials such as senators, congressmen, and so forth. Of course, the Clintons and um, others that quote unquote supported that movement that is dead. So that's great news. Trump's really his first world tour was just total 100% kick ass. The guy he I keep saying he already verified my vote a long time ago when when he talked about the fake news media. But now, I mean, it's beyond. I don't. He's huge, tremendous, tremendous, huge. Um, Getting out of the global warming bullshit. I mean, give me a break. Give me a break. So simple to shut these people up. These global warming, really, are there Hummers in, I don't know, Saturn? They noticed a few more storms in Saturn. Saturn, yes, not Jupiter, Saturn. But what about Jupiter? More storms there. Look, it has to do with the sun. That's basically it. Um, Here's the thing. Here's the troubling thing. I've been every time I have trusted sources. One of my most favorite trusted sources, Greg Hunter. He has awesome guests, and he has Cliff High on, which I is another one of my trusted sources. I don't think he predicts, as Greg Hunter puts out. You predict. He says you predict. I'm sure he knows that Cliff High is not a predictor. He's not a foreteller, if you will. He scrapes the internet, which is something I can do. I'm sorry, I'm not Cliff High, okay? But I know the back end, the mechanics behind it, okay? And that's he uses similar mechanics. I don't scrape the internet. I don't have that kind of bandwidth. I don't have that kind of, it's a lot of memory, a lot of bandwidth, a lot of work getting all that information down to an understandable level to the point where you can actually make predictions, if you will, out of the linguistics that you get. So anyway, Cliff High, I listen to him intently because of the fact that he's pulling from the internet what what is called predictive linguistics, because in the words themselves and the emotion also is a level of prediction, and that's why I listen to him. Now and he even admits it, he's been horribly wrong about silver and gold. And was it his fault? No. They should be. I've said it before, and I'm going to say it again. Silver and gold. Okay, silver should be where Ethereum is plus or multiplied by 2. Okay, gold should be where Bitcoin is multiplied by 4. That's my feeling, and that's, I know, emotional. But in other words, they haven't moved. And here's the thing, here's the trick. Everybody's talking about cryptos. I mean, everybody, including my good friend. He doesn't know me, but I know him through his videos. This buddy right here. He's JSnip4. Let me move it a little bit. There we go. JSnip4. Excellent, excellent commentary. Just down to earth, and that's what people want. They don't want to be talked to by some talking, pretty talking head, patronizing you with bullshit. I mean, if you want that, just turn on the TV. If you have it, I do tech support for a a company that has over 12 million subscribers in the United States. Okay, and I talk to people with internet problems. I get to see their router. I get to see their accounts. I'm here to tell you the media is dead. The internet rules. And people like this, JSnip4 is going to go a long way. 40,000 subscribers. of course I'm one. He's going to have hundreds of thousands. He's going to be a wealthy man because of what he does, and he works hard. Okay, but again, this guy, almost every one of his videos now, he has to put a Bitcoin comment in, and I don't. It's not I don't like it or whatever. It gets sickening, and the reason why I'm saying is this. Um, Let me pull something up here. This chart is from bigcharts.com. Bigcharts.com has a lot more data than stock charts. It goes way back, and you're seeing a chart of EGO, which is Eldorado Gold. I got into this stock way back. Okay, in and out. I was trading, and look at it. This is what 2.5. It was about a dollar. That's right around where I got into it. Around this portion, around 04, 2004, 2005, 2006. It's kind of like going, sideways, much like it's doing now. I'm not touting this stock. I'm just giving you an example. Then all hell broke loose, in the sense that you know, um, uh, 2007 scenario came around, in 2009 and so forth, and at that point, all I kept hearing, okay, and even before that, I can't go back. It was exactly the same talk. I cannot go back in this chart to show you 2000, when I started really waking up to precious metals and the whole the economic uh, picture that it presents. I mean, if you know precious metals, you have to know everything else. So in 2000, this stock was a penny stock, and it went up just like Bitcoin. And the talk was like, oh, it'll never go down. It was another stock I was looking at, Nico Eagle, AEM. Um, that is a much larger cap stock. I was looking at it back then, and it was back in 2001, it was below $10, about $8 and so forth. And as it was going up, it kind of flattened out between 2003 at around $20, let's say $18 average, just flattened out, and then it went up like Bitcoin. Never mind what happened afterwards, because we're talking about a currency, not a currency, we're talking about real money here, something that has value, gold, okay? What I'm trying to say is this portion, the top, the portion that goes up like this, no matter what stock you look at, especially penny stocks, which is how Bitcoin is trading just like a penny stock. I've done enough trading to say that, and I'd like to know any trader to tell me that that's any different. Anyone that has traded for as long as I have. Okay? It's doing this. Bitcoin's doing the same thing. Look what happened afterwards. Now, okay, this is the 2009. No matter what happens afterwards is a major correction after a bubble like this. Sometimes they recover, like a Nico Eagle will recover to even newer highs. And this is, I wouldn't call this a penny stock, okay? But sometimes they don't. This is it used to be called DROOY, and now it's DRD Gold, okay? Look at this. Back in 2003, how is it that DRD Gold, this was a penny stock, okay? This was a penny stock. Well, how is it, this is what you have to be careful. How is it that it's, $60 or whatever? Actually, I remember I was in this stock. I bought it at a few pennies, and it kept going up. And I heard the same exact talk that I hear now from, these guys that I trust and my trusted sources. But the people were enamored with gold stocks because of what they were doing. Now, you don't see this. This is at 2003. It's down, and it's stayed down, and it's staying down, okay, all the way up to today. It's below, I'd say about $3. It's $2.98. But this spike here, okay, it says $60. Actually, you know what this stock did? It's called the reverse stock split. I know this for a fact. The stock did not go above $3. It did a 10-to-1 reverse stock split, and there were several. So adjusted. What you're seeing is the adjusted history. Adjusted history. Okay, something if you don't know technical analysis and charting, you wouldn't understand. They adjusted back to 60 because of what the price is today, as per the reverse stock split. What a reverse stock split is, the reverse of a stock split. The company itself says, you know what, the stock is too low. We're going to have to raise the price. Therefore, supply and demand will decrease the amount of supply. Well, how do you decrease the amount of supply? Well, you kind of say, instead of having one stock, you have a tenth of a stock. What are you talking about? What do you mean a tenth of a well, it's worth a tenth of what it used to be, the stock. So now we'll give you, if you have like $15 in a specific stock, okay, well, it's now worth $1.50. But you get so many other, so many other shares. So your shares go up in your account, but per share value goes down. So say you bought 100 shares at $2. The stock does a 2-for-1 reverse stock split. So now you got 200 shares of $1. And you're like, so who cares? Well, you better care, because reverse stock splits are a death nail. Okay? They usually, as was explained to me and as I read, for the most part, do not work. They do not work. They're trying to get people back into the stock because they want to increase the price. That it doesn't work. It's an enormous red flag. Okay. Fortunately, that didn't happen to me with this stock. It happened to other stocks, but it doesn't matter. It didn't go to 60. What I'm trying to say is this: Bitcoin right now is doing a move just exactly like these stocks that I've shown you. The talk and the momentum is there, but it's all talk and momentum based on talk, not the actual move of the stock, or the value, if you will, of the stock, which is what Bitcoin is. It's a penny stock. Nothing backs it up. Nothing. Oh, there's a lot of computer power backing it up, so that means there's energy. Where's the energy? It's in the form of heat, right? Heat rises, and then maybe you're adding global warming, if you will, if you're mining Bitcoin. I can get that ridiculous. Basically, what I'm saying is, it is backed by nothing. So it's something to be careful of, because the same type of talk, the same type of love and emotions is what I've seen not once but twice in my trading career. Okay, do I trade now? I have a little bit. I just dabble. I dabble. That's all I'm talking maybe 2% of what I have, just to keep up. And I know I'm going to lose it, so I don't give a crap. It's 2%. Hey, but it keeps me going. It keeps me kind of in the loop. Okay, so yeah, I do trade still, but it's like, if they want to take it, they take nothing. That's the way I ride, if you will. So yeah, be careful of the talk. Powerhouse people in this sector, if you will, the alternative news sector, the true media, powerhouse people are starting to. They're not salespeople. Okay, they're not selling it. They're not making any money off of it. Well, you could say, well, they own it, so if some other people buy it, they're kind of like making money because their stock goes up. Yes, true to a certain extent, but these are genuine people that I follow. Okay, they're in love with this. This is a problem, and there's a stock market idiom, as many. Okay, never fall in love with the stock. Simple, plain and simple. Like selling may go away, and there are other idioms I can give you. Yeah, so be careful. Am I in cryptos? No, I'm not. And I consider this a bubble that I will, yet another bubble, if you will, that I will ignore, and I will not profit from. Not, I won't participate in. And it's a personal decision. There's other ways to make money. Trust me. other ways to make money and sleep at night. Keep in mind that a lot of the activity from Bitcoin, okay, is by the East. It's an Eastern blockchain. You want to call it something? Call it an Eastern blockchain. Most of the activities in the East. Now the West is starting to kind of wake up to it, and they're speculating. But most of this rise came from the East, specifically Japan. This is a particular article by Bitcoin news.bitcoin.com. Okay, and basically, Japan is the one that Japanese are the ones that are purchasing Bitcoin and kind of storing it, if you will, as a quote unquote form of value away from the banks because the banks are not paying them anything. Okay, that's good. But another thing I've noticed, and this is something that people don't talk about too much, and I have to talk about. I'm not trying to pin a particular culture against another, but the Japanese and the Chinese, okay, this is kind of like, if you will, new money. These are people that kind of just came into the picture in the last 30, 40, 50 years. In China's case, in the last 20, maybe 10. Okay? When you have people that go from poverty to middle class, they feel very enriched and they'll make mistakes. They'll do things, and it's shown throughout with the Vancouver purchases, with the Japanese. Go all the way back to the Japanese buying up half of New York, and then the value went down, and so they lost. Okay, now the value is up again, but that's been sold, and buildings there have been sold, bought and sold. Remember the song "I'm Turning Japanese"? This is an old '80s song. That was the case. That was the case. So again, these are the type of people that I wouldn't trust. I wouldn't follow. Okay, I would never follow a fool. I don't call them fools, but in a stock market slash Wall Street way, they would call them fools. Look, listen, if you bank with J.P. Morgan or mainly Goldman Sachs, they call you a muppet. They have all kinds of names for you, but this is those types of names, as degenerating as they are, they they form an opinion about a specific group thinking. And if you're a sheeple, if you will, or a muppet or a fool in Wall Street's eyes, they say never follow it, because if you follow it, what's going to happen is you're going to lose your money. And it's a lot easier to lose your money than making it on Wall Street. I guarantee it. It's a hard job, especially now, which is why I chose not to be in it for a long time now. It's been a few years. So anyway, just want to let you know there's a motion for the blockchain. Okay, but is it specific to Bitcoin or Ethereum? We don't know what the future holds. I could tell you one thing though: Bitcoin, Ethereum, which is the token, and all these other coins out there, including Dash. There's another one I totally disagree with. When they have this lady that talks about Dash all the time, I don't even listen to it anymore. But the blockchain technology is excellent. That's going to be utilized. I don't think they're going to use a currency, not a currency, a commodity like Bitcoin. Well, they could back up the dollar with Bitcoin. Did you hear what I just said? Let's back up something that has no backing with another thing that has no backing. We're back to square one. We're back to square one. This is my take, okay? Bitcoin's rise means that precious metals rise, and the death of the dollar. That's my take. That, and how do I come up with that? According to Cliff High's latest uh, interview with Greg Hunter, most of it was about Bitcoin. According to him, according to him, towards the end, you hear this. The banks are scared. The oligopoly, oligarchs, the oligarchs are scared. They're afraid. They have they see their system crumbling because of, and according to Cliff High, okay, according, see, because I don't know if that's in the predictive linguistics. I have his, I buy his reports, and he even says this. I mean, there's certain words, certain keywords that he uses to formulate a thought around, and it could be the wrong thought. I mean, heck, he's been wrong about silver throughout for years, and he even mentions it. And again, it's not him; it's the linguistics, and also, of course, the manipulation. So Bitcoin's not manipulated; it's easier to follow with the predictive linguistics. That's fine, but to a certain extent, okay. And then you think to yourself, well, when will he be wrong? I'll tell you when he'll be wrong, and I'll tell you what will happen. This is my take, and again, it's just my take and my opinion. Banks are scared. Okay, let's say Cliff High is correct in his assumptions that Bitcoin is kind of taken over, and people are going to it as a form of currency. I'm sorry, I don't see that, but whatever. So let's say that that's the case. It is a fact that the banks have, gone to Bitcoin conferences and so forth. Not only banks, but major corporations and so forth. Yes, okay, to understand the system. So what do? They see they can't infiltrate or monetize or um, manipulate Bitcoin to their advantage always. So what's the next step? What is the one thing that most Bitcoin people talk about? No, not most, but some talk about. Take your profits and buy more silver and gold. So that's something they can manipulate still to a certain extent. So what they're going to do is they're going to take the brakes off, and it is my opinion that silver and gold are going to go much higher to compete with Bitcoin. So the higher Bitcoin goes, it's basically going to follow Bitcoin, if you will. So you say, well, why don't I just get Bitcoin? Because at some point, Bitcoin, like a snap, because it's backed up by nothing, will go down just like any other fiat currency. Right now, it's impossible to look at, but we're talking about people that once they figure something out, look what they've done to the precious metals all throughout. Okay, I'm not saying that I'm rooting for them. Hell no. I don't really 100% go for the model that we all live in, the dollar model. No, hell no. But these people, they have the wherewithal to eventually get to the point where if they cannot compete with a currency, as they call it, which is really a commodity, Bitcoin, well, then they'll create competition. If they can't compete, in other words, they say, oh, that's the only thing, they'll create the competition. And since no one, it seems to me, this is all based on Cliff's High's assumptions, I'm just expanding on it. If no one wants unbacked fiat currency from a bank, and they all want something else, something alternative, like Bitcoin, and they see something that's easy and understandable by everyone, and be able to do commerce with in an easy fashion, such as precious metals, they'll go with precious metals or a blockchain form of that. There's a new coin out called Gram. I think the Gram or something like that. And has to do with Sharia law. It comes from from the East. Okay, not the Far East, from the East, Arabia, places like that. And yes, So there is a blockchain out there that is backed up by a gram of gold per coin or whatever they call it. And so they will go something like that. But then again, gold's price has to go up for that blockchain, for that value to go up as well. Okay, that I would call it, that I would call money, not a currency. Mike Maloney does a very good job in defining money between and currency. Okay, no, that is true money right there. That gram gold or whatever, that gram coin. Again, I'm not going to get into it, but it is now part of history, if you will. It's out there. So, in short, what I'm doing, I'm actually kind of staying away from the news cycle a little bit. You know, I I always look at Zero Hedge, Breitbart. I always look at what's going on. There's a lot of times I want to do a video. I cannot because of my schedule and because of my situation with a transition that I'm going through right now. It's work related. I know I didn't lose my job, but it's a transition. It has to do with scheduling and stuff like that. I enjoy it though. Do I have to do it? I have to say no. When it comes down to it, I could do other things and really not be part of the corporate world, but I do enjoy it, and I get to talk to a lot of people from the same mic I'm doing this video on. So anyway, I hope I've shed some light. As Bitcoin goes up, the price of gold will have to go up, and the bankers will have to get rid of, or at least quote unquote, manipulate the price of gold up to the Bitcoin's level, so that it becomes a competing alt quote unquote currency, which is really money. Therefore, taking the limelight out of Bitcoin. That's the only thing they could do. And then the Fiesta Resistance, if you will. I hope I said that right. I'm not French. The epitome would be them coming out with a blockchain type of cryptocurrency that's backed up by gold. Then forget it. You take Bitcoin and throw it in the garbage. My opinion. So, love Cliff High. I love Greg Hunter. I love Jason F4. I love all these guys. Okay, I have my favorites, and there's another guy called Ken Schrogan. Awesome guy. I listen to him a lot. V, the Gorilla Economist. He's a bit too much into grip. I kind of stopped listening to him because I don't know. I just he's got to I think he's way deep in that pool. And look, that's fine. There's so much you can hear, and then you're like, listen, I've heard this before when gold stocks were at pennies, okay, and they were going up like crazy, and then went back down again. I've heard this before, not once but twice, in that particular space. Of course, let's not even talk the .com. Hey, anybody remember pets.com? Yeah, no. Look it up. Anyway, I'm going to go now. I don't know when I'm going to do my next post. I have to figure some things out. And I also have a rat's nest here. Sometimes you look at my videos, you just look at a small portion of this electronic mess that I have. So anyway, this is Al Bonanno. Yes, the Al Bonanno, the same guy that goes, "Hey, how you doing?" No, I take my multiple personality disorder pills every single day, so that guy doesn't come out. Because if that guy comes out, oh, he's gonna kick ass.